Welcome to the Tankerton to North Junction Railway, a Hornby Dublo 3-rail DC layout running 70-year-old locomotives and track originally started as a Christmas gift from my parents. Fictitious Tankerton is at the end of a single-track main line and the terminus for both intercity and branch line trains. Goods yards are located here as well as at Central Station and North Junction. It's the fourth layout built in this garden shed measuring 12 feet by 6 feet. Starting at Tankerton Station with the goods yard in the background, made up with original kit-bashed and bespoke card buildings. It continues past the roundhouse and turntable for the express locomotives. The trees are cuttings from my garden or electrical cables covered with kitchen paper, shredded and spray painted. Around the curve we have a brief glimpse of the DC mainline controller and isolation switches before seeing a junction and level crossing and entering the western cutting. In the foreground is Central Station goods shed, oil and cattle docks, before we see the Central Station platform, passing loops and sidings. A coaling platform and water tower at the north end of the station, behind which a 264 goods train is waiting in the return loop. Next, St George's Church is at the top of a hill with a deep cutting behind, and then we see the signal box at the junction for North Junction Station. Another 264 passenger train waits in the platform, while an 062 shunts at the Phoenix factory loading dock, and flat trucks are loaded at the goods shed. A number of locomotives are parked at the Tankerton roundhouse before a 462, the Duchess of Montrose, leaves the turntable to collect coaches for the Intercity Express from Tankerton to London. As the train departs, as the consist leaves the station, I can see the scratch-built water tower in the background. And I do apologise for some of the shaky shots. They are a bit jerky when trying to run 70-year-old trains closer to scale speeds. The train enters the cutting at South Junction and gets a wave from the driver of the 1950s Matchbox MG. As it emerges from the cutting and continues through the countryside to the church cutting, where it will then approach Central Station to pick up and drop off passengers. Here it's delayed as waiting for a down 280 heavy goods to enter the passing track and clear the line. As the express leaves Central, it passes a Central Station goods shed and sidings where a Bobo diesel shunts oil tanks and cattle trucks. The fencing is made from matchsticks with either cotton or florist wire. After passing St George's Church, the train enters the reversing loop to become a returning express down from London. It's then seen speeding through the rural countryside. Vehicles from 1950s Matchbox to renovated Hot Wheels from the charity shop can be seen on the roadway for its crossing the embankment. And arriving safely at Tankerton, where there's an 062 shunting grain trucks to the silos in the background. Meanwhile, a 280 heavy freight locomotive has been filled with coal and water and backs up to collect the coal train from the industrial estate sidings. The electrical pickup on this locomotive in the tender with the wire connecting the driving wheels and the locomotive. I'm sorry I got the wire exposed. The coal in the trucks is made up from the sole of a flip-flop thong or sandshoe, depending on the name, depending on where you live. Arriving in the passing loop at Central Station, it clears the up track, so we have a 264 pulling the local train on its way to North Junction. Depart Central. To arrive at North Junction, where it can be disconnected, use the runaround loop for a return trip to Tankerton. You see the High Street in the background, again from card buildings. Finally, the 280 clears Central with a guard happily waving goodbye as the coal train disappears into Church Cutting. Thank you for watching, and apologise for the bumpy out of first focus shots. It's my first effort with my phone, and as all points are manual, I am both the train driver, engineer, as well as the signalman and the camera operator.